What's going on, guys? It's your buddy MLC Stealth, and today we have a gameplay of some Call of Duty Black Ops. We're playing some Domination Ground War on whatever map this is, and I got my golden MP5k and I go 81-5 this game. Pretty good score, but I really don't want to talk about the gameplay. I actually have a commentary topic to talk about, and that topic is, what are my biggest fears, or what are your guys' biggest fears? In the comment section below, I do want you guys to tell me your biggest fears below, and I'll be reading that and commenting on that and just noticing what you guys are saying. But let us get into my biggest fears for now. I'll just talk about the main big ones, the top three that I've thought of. The first one is going to be a fear of heights. I don't know what it is, but I'm afraid of heights, and I'm not talking about just like 10 feet off the ground or like a few stories in the air heights. I'm talking about like 10 or 15 stories up. And one thing that I actually ironically want to do before I die, and I actually want to do this before the end of the year, screw that, is go skydiving. And for me, skydiving isn't that scary as it seems, because there is a big difference in my mind between jumping out of an airplane, which is supposed to happen, you have a parachute which is supposed to protect you, as opposed to just leaning over a balcony rail 15 stories in the air. I don't know what it is, but leaning over a balcony rail 15 stories in the air seems more frightening to me. Again, not sure why, but it just does. Like, especially like balcony rails, I cannot stand near those things. If those things are there on the 15th floor or whatever, I cannot stand near it. If I go near it, I feel like the balcony is just gonna like disappear and I'm gonna fall through, or somebody's gonna grab me and push me over. Don't know what it is, but I'm terrified of heights like that. I can't look down, I feel like I'm gonna fall off. But skydiving, a whole different thing, because it's kind of just like a sense of, like, oh, you can see the ground down there, but when you're skydiving, you really don't see a ground, you kind of just see an open sky that you can fly in. I don't know, for some reason, just jumping out of a plane doesn't seem as scary to me as looking over a railing. Now, I don't know what it is, but I am sort of a parkour guy, and I can do flips off walls, and I know that's technically not the definition of parkour, because that's free running. But I can like jump over things and climb on top of things, and that height doesn't scare me either. If it's a fall that will just break my legs, that really doesn't bother me. It's a fall that will kill me from like 20 stories that creeps the crap out of me. And yeah, that's fear number one. Kind of not that big of a fear or anything. You are probably like already clicked off the video because that's a lame fear. But another fear that I have is getting buried alive, which is a very common fear among people. I know me and a lot of friends have that same fear. Pretty much me and the entire world has that same fear. I watched Buried the other day, and that was probably the most terrifying movie I've ever seen. It's a movie with Ryan Reynolds where he gets buried alive, and that's terrifying right there. The fact that there's really not much you can do to escape. Just 1 second you're doing your normal stuff, the next second you wake up and it's dark, you can't move, you're in a coffin, you're underground, and you're dead. That terrifies me. Just the fact of waking up in a coffin, dying, just can't do anything about it. It sucks. So that's another thing that scares me. And another thing that scares me, I really haven't told many people this, it's suffocation by just like having food stuck in your throat. That terrifies the crap out of me. It seems like a lot of people really don't know how scary that is to me. Like, I see a lot of, like, I even saw a Tosh.0 thing where some girl was choking on brownies and somebody gave her the Heimlich maneuver and all was fine. And everyone was like laughing, like, oh, she almost choked on brownies. But when I watched that, I cringed, and that was terrifying to me. Because my dad has actually given me the Heimlich maneuver twice. And it wasn't just like, oh, I'm choking on something real quick, I can't really breathe that well, can you get this? No, it was, I had steak caught in my throat, I could not breathe in at all. And when you are choking on something like that, like it's cutting off the oxygen flow or whatever, you can breathe out, you can exhale, but you cannot inhale. And that is extremely terrifying. I would say go try it if you haven't, but that's stupid. But yeah, my dad's had to give me the Heimlich maneuver twice, and what actually happened there is I was eating steak. Apparently I took too big of a bite, and I swallowed it, and it's not like a sudden thing. It definitely works up on you. You can feel your throat tightening and just, oh, something bad's about to happen, and then all of a sudden, oh, I can't breathe in anymore. So I just stood up and flailed my arms around, and my dad came over and gave me the Heimlich. Like, luckily he was there, because if he wasn't, then I may have died. But they always have techniques, like if you're by yourself and you're choking, what you can do is go over to a chair and just like throw your chest into the chair or not your chest, but the part that you would do the Heimlich maneuver on. And I luckily have not had to try that on my own yet. But if I do, then that will suck and be terrifying. And I actually had a hot pocket. This is kind of a stupid story. I had a hot pocket stuck in my throat for about 24 hours, and this one wasn't stuck to the point where I couldn't breathe. But I couldn't like drink or eat anything else. It was just in my throat whenever I tried to drink water. Even when I swallowed saliva, after a couple minutes of swallowing saliva, I had to throw up that saliva because it just kept building up, and it got to the top of my mouth again, and I had to throw that up. And after 24 hours, I think it eventually just like went down my throat. But the fact was, I almost like did something with that. Like, that was almost a bad thing, because we went to the hospital right after. It disappeared, and we're like, hey, is my throat screwed up or anything? And I don't know, I guess it turned out to be fine, I guess. But it turns out I have like food allergies to like every single food in existence, so when food's in my throat tends to swell up, and that causes me to choke on foods easier, which sucks because that's already a fear of mine. So yeah, people seem to like make fun of the situation. Oh, that guy's choking on food, how funny. But no, that's when I see somebody else choking on food, I cringe, and it doesn't feel good for me at all. Because I definitely know what that's like, and just sitting there choking to death if I was by myself and literally choked to death on food. Obviously that'd be embarrassing and stupid, but that'd be a slow death of crap. I can't do anything about this. And they do have some methods where I think if you can't get it out of their throat or whatever, then you can take a knife and shove it into their neck or the breathing cord or whatever. Obviously I would kill myself if I tried this just on someone. Or me. But you take a knife to your throat and open the airway, and then you get like a straw or something and stick it in your throat so the flaps of your neck don't clog the airway, and then you just breathe out of your throat through the hole in your neck. And that just scares me, just having to think like, oh, can't get this out of my throat, let me just take this knife right here and just cut open my neck so I can breathe through this little tiny air hole that I just cut out of myself. So yeah, those are my fears. Fear of heights, fear of getting buried alive, and fear of choking on food to death. Kind of lame fears, but those are my top three. A couple minor fears, I guess, are just like spiders. They're disgusting and should not be near me ever. And swimming in the ocean, and just fish being underneath me. Get away, fish. Don't touch my feet. You freak me out. I feel like you're going to grab my feet and pull me underneath the water and kill me or something. And just the slimy and scales just touching my feet, too, when I'm swimming. Get out of here, what is this? But yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell. So I'm gonna go to sleep since it's 7 o'clock in the morning and I have not slept yet, and I'll upload this video and I'll see you guys later. Anyways, you have a good day. Tell me your fears below in the comment section. Yeah, something. See ya.